Jimmy Watkins joins us right now. Cleveland.com. Well, I got to ask him to start this. Are you a little bit surprised by this, Jimmy Watkins at Cleveland.com on the North Homestead Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram hotline?
Good morning, guys. I would say that a smidge surprised when Jason mentions the dead money. I'm never surprised when Andrew Berry makes that work to his cap sheet's advantage. I think it tells you, it does signal a level of confidence in what the Browns already have in the defensive line. I mean, Obo was moving toward, in certain portions of minicamp that I saw, moving towards the back of that line. We're talking about guys, like you said, Isaiah McGuire, Alex Wright, we'll call him JTS from Tampa Bay, the offseason signing. We'll
Come on, try to say it, Jimmy.
It's too early. It's too early.
Joe Tryon Shoyinka is the man from Tampa Bay. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Took the words right out of my mouth. But I think it does signal a level of confidence in the guys that they already have. And I was thinking, while we were all charting preseason quarterback reps, I was thinking, watching the defensive line, evaluating some of the names, this could be like a plus strength for the Browns. Obviously, part of that thinking is that, man, this group is so deep that Obo is not working as much with the first team as you might originally think. Now he's gone, but I think it's a statement of confidence in the rest of that position group as much as anything else.
All right, on to more important matters. Please rank for me in chronological order your warm and fuzzy memories of this piece of crap.
Oh, for the love of God.
In chronological order.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Jimmy, where are you from?
I'm from the east side. I'm from Wildy.
Okay, so you grew up here then, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to make sure because I didn't know.
Please rank for me in chronological order.
So now he can rank in chronological order.
All of those incredible core memories you have of that dump on the lakefront. Go.
Hey, come on. That's
not nice. I think so. Here's the thing. I've heard Jason Scrooging a little bit this morning, and I understand his point that if we're ranking victories, important victories, meaningful football victories inside that stadium,
which is the whole reason why you're there.
It will be a short. It's not the whole. I lean more towards Ken, where I think you can. When we're talking about the fan experience, your rankings might have more to do with a great Muni lot experience you have. Like, how many people's favorite memory from last year is keg bowling with Myles Garrett and Donovan Mitchell?
Good point.
You know,
the 15 people that were there. The 20 people in that little huddle.
No, there was hundreds of people that were there.
How many were really up close and next to him? Hundreds?
Can I say there were more than at the Thunder Parade, or am I going to get killed on the internet again?
If you want a social experience, go to a bar. If you want to watch a football game, go to a stadium.
See, hold on. I want Jimmy's opinion on a lot of things, but now I just have to fight it out with him. He's right about the experience of tailgating. Now, tailgating's tailgating, and I'm sure we'll find ways to tailgate over at the new place. But when it comes to the Brown situation,
is not inside that dump of the stadium.
When it comes to the Brown situation, it was different. And it was almost different from anything else you're ever going to find, because there were several neighborhoods. There was Under the Bridge, there was the Pit, there was West 6, there was obviously the Muni.
You're naming all the places outside the stadium.
But it's still around the stadium when they're getting ready to go into the stadium.
I'm talking about the stadium.
Well, if you can bring the around places to the new stadium,
you'll find new around places at the new stadium.
Ask Jimmy a question right now. Stop being a problematic person.
Are they going to carry 4 quarterbacks on the roster? There, you happy?
I think that's much more possible than I think general consensus believes, that, because I have 2 lines of thinking on this. Number one, this idea that I do believe that if the Browns got the right offer for whoever they deem to be their expendable quarterback, veteran or otherwise, sure, they would take it. But why are we assuming that this desperate team X that has their starter get hurt in training camp or something else, why are they going crazy for Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett or a rookie mid-round quarterback? That has not ever made sense to me. And then number 2, like, this doesn't have to be they're all on the roster all the time or not. You can work the practice squad. And again, if you put a guy on waivers, you run the risk that somebody may say, "Oh, Kenny Pickett for free, I can't possibly pass this up." But I'm just less convinced than it sounds like a lot of folks in town that's going to be the case. And I think this is a situation where you're going to want to be collecting a lot of data on a lot of different guys. I think all 4 guys not only will be on the roster, but all 4 guys will eventually play this season.
You know, Jimmy has a point here, Jason, where you have this team that's desperate for quarterbacks. They just have to have one of our quarterbacks here with this 4 quarterback race. And I'm thinking, well, I'm desperate for a quarterback. Why aren't I just playing that guy instead of trading him away for future picks? What do I know that they don't? I think you got to think about that, Jason Lloyd.
I'm the one who said they're going to carry 4.
I don't know. You just made me upset with you for what you said about the stadium over the last 40 minutes. Jimmy Watkins joining us here on the show. When it comes to Shedeur Sanders, do you think the Browns have handled him correctly?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. It feels like every Shedeur question is a loaded question these days. I will say this.
Why is that? Wait a minute. Why is every question about Shedeur a loaded question?
It's just like it's a 5th round pick with a disproportionate spotlight on him. So you always want to. I feel like as insofar as people who record OTA and minicamp passes on their phones are Big J journalists, we do have some sort of duty to push back a little bit on what is naturally going to be the Shedeur hype cycle. At the same time, he's not your usual 5th round pick, so that's a dance you have to do. I would say this: I've been thinking about this. Shedeur is not getting enough reps. There seems to be the sentiment that the Browns are trying to intentionally humble him or hold him back or give them a higher burden of proof to earn more reps than what someone else who had performed like him in minicamp OTAs, which was pretty well, all things considered, including the context that he wasn't getting a ton of reps with starters or near starters. And my takeaway has been in the weeks since that time, why would that be such a bad thing? Why would it be such a bad thing for the Browns to, if they're doing this, I mostly think he's a 5th round pick. 5th round picks have a higher burden of proof in general. But if the Browns if there is meaning in his locker placement being near the bathroom, if there is meaning in his reps being limited by a significant margin compared to the other guys, why is that such a bad thing? The whole knock on him coming out of the draft was he didn't handle the interviews well. I'm thinking specifically of one anecdote that Todd McShay gave ahead of the draft where I think it was the Giants had him in there and they wanted to draw up a concept and he didn't know the concept and then he didn't handle it well when they were called out on that. Clearly the Browns didn't have the same experience. They thought that Shedeur handled himself well when he met with the team and they were not scared away by everything that comes with him. But what's wrong with double checking your work? What's wrong with putting him in adverse situations and saying, let's see how he handles this? And what's wrong? The speeding tickets, the last 2 speeding tickets that he's gotten, what we heard about last week, those have become a big deal. They would be such a bigger deal if they had already decided, well, he's firmly in the race to start week 1, and let's give him some first team reps in minicamp and OTAs. Let's treat him different from your typical 5th round pick. Why is it such a bad thing? Why is it such a bad thing that they are slow playing the Shedeur Sanders development? If they are,
I would agree, but I just don't think that. I just don't think it's humbling. I don't think that they need to humble him. I mean, he was taken in the 5th round. He was taken on day 3. I think he's probably getting just as many opportunities as any 5th round quarterback would get. They took Dylan Gabriel because they really liked Dylan Gabriel. They took a flyer on Shedeur Sanders, and they have made that very, very, very clear. And there definitely are people, listeners out there, fans, who just don't simply want to believe that. Like the Browns are handling it so terribly. And I'm going, no, I think they're handling it as well as they could. I think that with the PR stuff, they've given them their separate day to talk. I mean, how much talk have we had about Mason Graham? None. He was number 5 overall pick, for crying out loud. And they've put the quarterbacks on separate days. I think it's made sense. And I think that they've mixed it up when the cameras are there. So to say that, and obviously you're not saying it, we agree with each other, to say that they're denying him the opportunity, I don't think that they're denying him anything. I think he's getting more than likely the same opportunities that 5th round choices get for most football teams, especially when you have 4 guys in camp.
This team hasn't had a franchise quarterback in 30 years.
Yeah, why wouldn't they want to give him a chance?
If they thought he was ready, they would give him every opportunity and beg him to be the guy.
Yes, absolutely yes. Sorry, Jimmy, go ahead.
Well, if they thought he was ready, they wouldn't have waited 144 picks to draft him either, right? Like they drafted another They drafted another sub 6 foot quarterback over him. They drafted not one but 2 running backs over him. Everything about this suggests one thing, but because his last name is Sanders, because frankly he does throw a pretty minicamp ball to end of roster guys, and because what it is at the end of the day, the city is so freaking starved for any semblance of a plan at quarterback. It all has to be more than that.
Well, that's why I don't think any of these guys are a waste of time. I still have 2 first-round picks next year, so I'm not as I like Shedeur, so it doesn't matter to me. But I don't look at guys like, this is a waste of a pick, a waste of time. I don't see the same thing as Dylan Gabriel. It's like, well, I got 2 picks next year, so what the hell?
You got 1 year to kill between now and when you think you're going to get your franchise quarterback. Throw him out there and take a look at him.
The only difference is I just don't think it's plausible to actually put them out there in week 1, either of those guys, because I just think it's irresponsible to put those guys in that position.
We talked about this. I'm sorry, Jamie. I'll get you back in a second. We talked about this Monday. I said if it's close, I don't expect it to be close. I said if it's close, throw the rookie out there. But no, I expect a veteran to start week 1. Jimmy, what say you? Veteran or rookie week 1?
And do you think it could be Kenny Pickett or Joe?
It's definitely going to be veteran. That's the easy part because look at this. We talked so much about the schedule. You're doing your rookie no favors, particularly your mid to late round rookie no favors by throwing him into the shark pool that is the first 6 weeks of this Brown schedule. The natural inflection point will be whatever their record is at the end of that. I kind of think the optimists will have the air drained out of their balloons relatively quickly. They'll be 1-2 or whatever after that first stretch, and then it'll be time to enter the information collection phase with your Dylan Gabriels and your Shedeur Sanders. I guess if Joe Flacco, if you're trying to win as many games as possible next year, Joe Flacco should be your week 1 starter. If you are treating this whole year like an experimental situation and you're just getting in the lab, then I think you should see what you have with Kenny Pickett. I think I know the answer to what you have with Kenny Pickett, which is not much except maybe the occasional fun 3rd down scramble and 2-minute drill. But if the Browns clearly think there's more meat on that bone, so if that's how they're treating the season, if this is all experimental and it's all about 2026, then I would roll out Kenny Pickett to just gather some data.
Do you find Kevin Stefanski to be overrated or underrated by the media?
The media is, I don't know. I don't have a great feel on what all of us, we bigwigs or self-supposed bigwigs think. I do think he's underrated by the city. I do think that we get caught up in the small week-to-week conversations where, why did he call this play on 3rd down? He's overthinking it, and he does do this sometimes where, 3rd and short, he tries to throw it over people's head when you could have just gone forward for a yard. And no play caller is perfect in any situation. But big picture here, this is one of the longest tenured coaches in recent franchise history, even not so recent franchise history. And he is already one of the most successful coaches. As sad as these facts may be, they are still facts. And he has, since he's been given keys to call plays, and this dates back to his year with Minnesota, we got Kirk Cousins, Jacoby Brissett, Baker Mayfield, all having career best QBRs or passer ratings under this guy, and Joe Flacco reviving his career to the point where I think, like Joe Flacco, and I know Joe Flacco was on his way out of football before Kevin Stefanski found him on his couch in 2023. Now Joe Flacco has extended his career by at least 2 years as a result of playing Kevin Stefanski's offense. I think he is decidedly underrated by the locals.
Jimmy, find him on Twitter at JimmyWatkins95. Jimmy, thank you very much for the time. All the best.
Appreciate you guys.
See you, buddy.
Jimmy Watkins on the North Homestead Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Hotline.